Hey guys, it's Kara from the Wildwood Homestead, and it's time for our early morning garden tour. So the daylilies have finally showed up and they are blooming. I really need to deadhead a lot of those, so I'll just come in and I'll just pick these off and throw them down. Got squash, lots of the yellow squash coming. We have more of the butternuts that are coming, spaghetti. As you see, I have a teepee here, so that's growing up that pretty good, and it's starting to get on the tomato trellis, but that's all right too. Beans are coming, so those are together. Those are all they're spaghetti, they're not butternuts. These are spaghettis. I'm trying to train that one up this trellis. So, and then that's cowpeas going up the trellis. They're all my pretty birds I listen to every morning. They're awesome. Pumpkins in with some squash. So that plant was my first planting of the yellowneck squash and the zucchini. Then in those 3 beds, and then these 3 beds comes the next succession of zucchini and squash, and then the next. Okay, so remember, you don't have to plant all of them at one time. Alright guys, so a lot of people think that you can only plant all your squash at one time, or all your beans at one time, or your tomatoes at one time, when actually you can plant them all throughout the growing season. So it does help to know what grows in your area and how it grows. Now sometimes some plants are going to get too hot. You don't want to start them off in the middle of July. But some plants you can start in July inside and then transfer out later. So in your garden, you know, I just said succession planting. So the first set of beds get one set, then the second one gets the next set, then the third gets the next, and I have a continuous harvest. And that helps me in 2 ways. It feeds me all summer long and all season long, and it helps when I'm putting up. If I have all my squash come in at one time, I'm probably going to have some ruin. And I've done that before on peas and corn. I've gotten so much in and had to put so much up at one time that I ended up ruining some of it. And so I'd rather just do a little bit at a time and not have everything so overloaded on me that it's really hard to accomplish my goal of putting it up in time. So this helps in several ways. It helps your beds. You see that I'm stacking plants on top of each other, so I'm just going to talk about that. Alright, so this bed is a good example of companion planting and stacking. And when I say companion planting, I'm not talking about this plant doesn't do good next to this plant. Don't ever plant these 2 plants together. No, you really, guys, a lot of that isn't necessarily true, and I've tested it. So you just need to kind of play around with it. Don't go by just all the guides that you see and stuff. And I know they get shared a lot, and I've shared them before, but they aren't necessarily just like this is the rule and that cannot happen. Okay, so I go more with stacking and space. You can have beans on your lower. Okay, so I have beans that are around my 2 squash. I have a squash, so that's the yellow neck squash, and then a zucchini. Those 2 are big plants, so they get the ends. I know how big they're going to grow, and all around them I planted beans. And then behind them I have the taller peppers, so the peppers are coming. Then behind the peppers are the taller tomatoes. So you see where I've stacked heights, okay, and sizes. And so all of these are growing in the bed okay together. They're coexisting here. And the light comes from where I'm standing now onto this bed. So no shadows are cast, you know, over a plant where it won't grow. Now, are you going to have exceptions and something happens and your peppers end up smaller or something like that? Sure. I mean, that's part of gardening. But that's okay. That's part of learning and the experience. So you can see we have got, I think this is the Odessa squash. And I have, well, if I can get the plant out, I have some nice ones coming right there and right there. I'm pretty sure this is Odessa Summer. And then that is, I believe, just a regular straight neck right there. My beans are coming up through here. So you want to plant things inside of your bed that you're going to have kind of a stagger of gathering. So my beans are going to come first. I'll gather them. And that gives my Odessa and my pumpkins and my butternut time to grow in this bed. And then the tomatoes will start coming. My cowpeas have been very slow this year. I don't know what is up with that. And then I have to come out here and I have to twist them and make them go up the trellis. Make sure you don't pop them. Oh, that makes me sick every time I pop one. I don't mean to, it just happens. Tomatoes are coming along. The birds, as you see, love the cow panels. They sit on them and I'm going to guess fertilize my plants. That's what I'm going to call it. Let's see, what we got here? Zucchini. Got several showing up on it. I think this one has some pretty good ones growing. No, that was the next one. But yeah, they're in there. Right there, right there. Peppers. The peppers are starting to show up, so that's real good. Got some pepper growth. More tomatoes. And then this plant just put all that I've got to come gather. I've got several squash on this one. Y'all see that? Let's see how many I got. 1, 2, 3, 4 I've got to get off of this plant today. They ended up fused together somehow. That's pretty cool. They're starting to flower. They're going to be showing up this week. Zucchini. I got some good zucchinis coming off of this one. So, another one. Oh, and peppers. Got peppers. I'm going to leave these on here and let them turn red. That's my plan. Hello. It's my bee helper. But those right there are supposed to be super sweet. So we're going to let those grow. And then my banana peppers are finally starting to show up. It took them a little while. More tomatoes. Blueberries have been rocking it up there. So we've been getting some pretty good harvest on that. Picking blueberries, picking blueberries. How many you got? Let me see. That's a lot. I think these trees started out so tiny when we put them in. And now we're getting cups and cups of blueberries. What are we going to make out of the blueberries?
Blueberry muffins.
What else?
Blueberry pie.
Blueberry pie? I've never made a blueberry pie. I guess I could try. Blueberry pancakes?
Yeah. Rivers is helping me.
Rivers is helping you?
Yeah. Rivers, come pick this blueberry.
Jericho's helping. Are you helping?
Rivers, over here.
You're not helping very much. He's over it.
Mama.
Ooh, I like that. It's kind of soft and fuzzy, huh?
I found it and I want to get at it.
Thank you. He always brings me little gifts. These cowpeas are doing good. They're starting to flower. They're going to show up soon. Oh, look. Yay. See? Starting to show up. The black-eyed peas, if you want to call them that. This one's waiting on peppers and beans. So I'm going to wait for a really good rain. Get my beans out here and plant my peppers. Tomatoes. Tomatoes. What's that little squash? No, that's a pumpkin. Pretty sure that's a pumpkin. So, probably won't make it that high up on the trellis. More pumpkins right there. Squash, zucchini, beans, tomatoes, because I ran out of room over there. I have 3 tomatoes. I don't know if this little fella's going to make it though, because he's really getting covered up by that pumpkin plant. And I had a pretty good pumpkin growing in here. If I find it. I don't see it. Maybe it dropped. Some of them won't make it, and that's okay. You don't want the ones that don't make it anyway. So, lima beans. So I go up there and twist them. More lima beans. And then, oh, we've gotten a pretty good harvest of cucumbers. Cucumbers are coming on pretty good. The kids and I are just eating them right now, just like an apple. Just snacking on them, just like an apple. Gotta start trellising that up our teepee. More squash. This will be more beans. Okay, so that'll be coming. I'm just waiting on my succession time. Same thing here. Oh, I got more cucumbers. Getting to the point now where I'm gonna have to start pickling them because they're showing up so much. Yep. Lots of cucumbers on this one today. Got a pretty decent little rain yesterday. Kind of helped everything. Oh, look how nice that looks. Oh yeah, nice. Oh my goodness, I missed that one. That's huge. Huge cucumbers. I like working in the garden early in the morning. It's cool and there's no bugs out. In the afternoon, it seems like all the bugs come out. The birds are singing. The sun hasn't quite hit, so it's not like just excruciating hot. It's just really nice. It's kind of a calm time. I don't really turn my phone. I listen to a lot of podcasts, but I don't really turn them on until later. After I've kind of enjoyed the birds and I've enjoyed the silence, it's just nicer to come out early in the morning than any other time to work in the garden. If you watched my TikTok, I showed you like a hack on how to do your twine, your gardening twine. So I usually get these on sale at the end of the year, and I just buy several rolls. And if you slide them through a caddy that has holes like this, you have an automatic dispenser. Now I happened to at an estate sale, this last estate sale I went to, they actually had a dispenser, and it came with twine. So when my green ones run out, but I've been using these as markers. So that way, if I'm watching a plant and I think something's wrong with it, especially tomatoes, I've been marking it with this, and that kind of helps me keep an eye on it. I'm really enjoying the cattle panels. It's been the easiest way to tie up tomatoes that we've had since. If you watch the cattle panel video, we talked about I did basket weaving. That was very labor intensive. It took a while. I was doing it like every 2 days to keep up with the growth. We've done stakes. That's costly, just because our stakes had to be replaced, every so often, every couple of years. We did a cheaper version of cattle panels with like some fencing. That didn't really work because it wasn't very stable. So for right now, the cattle panels are definitely my number one. I'm enjoying them and I really like them. You probably noticed that I have kind of like a mulch on the beds now. It's getting hotter and I want to keep that moisture inside of the bed and the soil. And so these are just grass clippings, and I just gathered those up and put them on here, let the grass grow a little longer. And the only concern with grass clippings is weeds. But if you just are, because of the seeds that are possibly in the grass, but if you just kind of let it sit out in the sun and bake them for a bit, kind of fry them out and then stick them in here, the potential goes down. You can add more mulch on top of it to stop it. And then you just have to kind of watch it. Like that over there didn't get mulched, and you can see that there's weeds popping up in there. And And that's about as much as the weed covers. You see how easy that is. They're so spread apart. I just go through there and just pick those out. So really not that hard. Alright guys, so what you see behind us is new. If you want to do kind of like a tour all the way around, right there. Okay, so our permaculture orchard slash chicken pen slash composting area is starting to take shape. So it came a lot sooner than we thought. My dad called and was like, "Hey, I'm headed your way, and we're gonna build a fence today." We're like, "Oh, okay," and no complaints. I mean, it wasn't part of the plan. It did kind of surprise us, but when you take help, okay, from your parents who have the ability and the capability and the equipment, then you go with it. And so Carl has been cutting cedars for a couple of weeks now, just going through the woods, clearing out the cedars to get all of our posts and our supports. And then we dug the holes with my father-in-law's tractor, and then he has posted them, and then my dad came and showed us how to space and how to make the corners and stuff. And so it was a good day. And so the next step is to put the fencing in and to put the gate in, and then we can take those chickens that you watched in the chicken, hatching, and we're still looking for Buff Orpingtons. So if you're anywhere close to Northeast Mississippi and you have yellow Buff Orpingtons, let me know. I'm looking for some. Also looking for, I thought I wanted Muscovy ducks. I think I'm leaning more towards the khaki Campbells now, and hoping to have those in here as well. And so we can have them working for us and making the ground better and giving us eggs and meat and that kind of thing. So stay tuned to see how that goes. All right, guys. So the patio garden is going through a transition. So things are petering out, which means they're going to be replaced with new plants. And I'm just letting things go to seed, like beans and lettuces and cress and carrots. The carrots will be coming out this week. I'm going to let them go through this week, and then I'm pulling all of those. So those will have peppers, and they already have some peppers in there, but we're going to get more peppers. So I'm just going to do a quick tour of this so you can see the growth. All right, so as you can see, this pot is petering out, so it's all going to seed, and I really love this one, so I'm going to gather seed off of it. This will actually get a second growth come when it gets cooler. So kale is still hanging on. Our beans are doing good. The clematis is blooming. It's growing. And then the cowpeas are going up. I've actually had to turn the cowpeas and the clematis down to start spreading downwards. This is becoming a lettuce bed. Finally planting this bed, guys. Okay, so I took my trowel, and you can see the lines I've made through here. I'm labeling. And look, I found these organic seeds. This was Tractor Supply, so you can find those there. And it's been really hard to find seeds, so if you have something like this, which is normally at Walmart or Tractor Supply, that's okay. Go ahead and get it, but they do have these options too. So, and I'm labeling. I always use older labels, okay? So I always reuse them. You can see where they've been written on already. Okay, so if you'll remember, this bed's a total experiment. We actually had to move it, so I had to watch it for a while because the gutter that's right above here was just pouring water into the bed. So we pushed it all the way against the wall, and now it gets no sunlight throughout the day. So I am experimenting on whether this is going to make a good lettuce bed for June and July, which mostly July because June is almost over. So this is going to be a test. So it doesn't get any direct sunlight, but it does get lots of light, and it's in the shadow of the overhang here. So hopefully it'll stay cool enough so that we can have lettuce all year long. So we're going to see how that works. Alright, so lettuce, you actually don't want to use all the seeds. because you can do about 3 different plantings off of 1 pack of seeds. And the reason I don't want to plant all my seeds is this is just for my family. So if I plant a whole pack, I'm going to have so much lettuce, I cannot eat it. I can't even give it away to all my family members. I would have that much lettuce from a whole pack. So keep that in mind. If you're not selling it and you're not going to give it away to the whole neighborhood, you might just want to pack a little bit at a time. Okay, so I like to add worm castings on top of my seeds. It's kind of my little quirk and my thing that I like to do. I'm not going to say it's 100% or it works, but it seems to work for me. And so I keep doing it. That when I put new seeds in there, I take my worm castings and I sprinkle them on. Try to get all my worms out. Make sure I don't have any worms in there. I just want their waste. I don't want them. I want them to do their job in their bins. Homemade cookies are the best. So good. Now I'm going to water my seeds. And then I still have baby birds up there, so I've tried to water a little bit, but I'm really scared of drowning them and hurting them. So I'm trying to give them their space, and I just can't show them to you because she hid them down in there pretty good. Here is the loofah gourd. It's doing great. I'm a little concerned that my pots aren't big enough and I'm not going to have like a big enough root system to support great big plants. We'll see, you know, that was an experiment. And I have a scallop squash growing in my bee balm. So the scallop squash that I didn't think seeded, actually, well, one of them came up. So that's that. This group of beans are petering out. I have some that I'm saving in the corner for seed. I'm going to get one last harvest off of these, and if they don't produce the rest of the week, then I'm going to be pulling those, cutting those back. These are still doing good and strong. I need to start picking them so they'll produce more, and the squash is petering out. So I have one over there I need to pick, and I think it's getting super hot up here for the squash. And so I'm going to see what this week brings, and if they don't start producing more, then they're going to go. So lettuce is going to seed, saving seed on lettuce. I cleared out this side of the bed of the lettuce. These are the beans, and then there's carrots in here that'll be gathered this week. This is also going to seed, gathering tons of cress. I really enjoyed the cress. My husband liked it in soup. I liked it in salad. So I'm getting as much seed off of that as I can. And there's so much here, like I want to be able to share with people, maybe trade, get some more salad growing in there. And there's more carrots once the carrots are gone. This will get replanted. Carrots are coming out of this bed. And there's Walter's cucumber, guys. So he's going to get his little cucumber. Oh, what's up, little bee? Oh, he just needs a break. Okay. And then these carrots, I'm pulling them this week. I'm just I've been watering them, letting them get as big as they can before I pull them and gather them. And then the peppers are in here, so they'll take over. And I already have peppers on there. So the peppers are coming. Tomatoes and beans. That's that companion planting. And then more carrots. More peppers, as you can see. These are the lunchbox peppers. They're supposed to be orange. So they're coming. And I'll give them more light. Like these did really well, and it's because they get more sun. They get more sun than those over there. And I pulled the lettuce that was here and the kale that was here. It got transplanted, and which actually worked okay. And then I have zucchini. So we've got zucchini coming on these. And kale, and I'm going to leave this here and see what happens, and then I'm going to interplant in here. But everything's doing pretty good. As you can see, I have tomatoes that still need to go out. I just don't have a place to put them right now, but when everything gets transferred over, I'll have plenty. I do have some tomatoes coming though. So they're there. And that's about it for this. Oh, and our dinosaur plant. it grew more leaves, and so these are nice and soft and tender. So it must be happy where it's at. So I tell the kids, if it's growing, it's happy where it's at. So the kids have been given jobs of putting the chicks out every day. Get the chickens while they're fresh. Caroline, go get a chick, babe. Go put them back in. The chicken dance. Is that the last ones? Be careful with them. Let me see. Oh. You got it? It's the chickens while they're fresh.
There's no more rivers.
Well, we gotta get the water, and you gotta get the water. Oh, don't squeeze them. Rivers, I need you to go get the water and the feeder, baby. I know, it's not the fun job. Thank you. Little naked baby birds. I was recording them. Oh, they think somebody's here to feed them. Let's see if the quail wants some watermelon. You ready for a watermelon snack? Get a snack. Let's see if y'all like it. I'll come back later and see how much you ate. Does that sound good? They ate all their watermelon. Okay, well, thank you for joining me on a day of like a morning of gardening and some of the chores that we have to do around the homestead. And if you want to keep following us and see some of the projects that are coming up, make sure you subscribe, okay? Click that thumbs up, give us a like, you can share. So there's a bunch of different ways you can share. Share it with somebody you think that might be interested to see what we're doing, and maybe we can help them. You can also follow me on Instagram and TikTok if you want to. So TikTok, I'm giving those quick bits of information that might help you out in the garden. Instagram is a lot of the artwork, and going into the artwork, if you would like to get something that, you know, represents kind of the wildwoods and homesteading and kind of support us in our homestead, you can go to wildwoodwonder.com and shop around there in the shop and see if there's something that you like. And see you next time.